train or not, still our car worth is 24,000. So this differential is 0. Difference is from 1 and 2, 1 minus 2, difference is 0. Second, insurance. The annual insurance, for example, is, I don't remember if it's 10,000, no, I think it's 1,000. Then it's remained the same, whether she go through train or not. The difference is 0. So that's why it's not relevant. Similar costs are not relevant. Only the differential costs, they are relevant, right? So the cost of gasoline is clearly relevant. Why? The more she drives, the more she needs to pay the cost of gasoline. So if she decides to drive, it is relevant. If she takes the train, the cost would not be incurred. So it varies depending on the decision. So if you see the two, differences through car, through train. If you go by car, then the cost of gasoline is going to be there, but in train it's not going to be there. So differences, yes, it's going to be there. For example, cost is 230 multiplied by 0.1. Answer is not 0.1. Okay, just for reference, 23. And here is 0. So answer would be 23 here. So that is the relevant cost, right? Similarly, the train tickets. If you go through train, it means if she having a car, then she do not need to buy a ticket. But in case of round trip, yes, she need to buy the tickets. So in that case, 104 is a differential cost, and it is relevant, right? So I hope you get my idea that what's going on. So differential costs are the cost that differs between two alternatives. So here, the cost of maintenance and repair is a relevant cost because in the long run, these costs depend on miles driven. So if you do not go through the train, you still can save this maintenance cost. So that's why it is relevant. The monthly school parking fees is not relevant. Whether she drives or take the train, it must be paid. It means these are unavoidable costs, which means the similar costs. So at this point, we can see that some of the average costs from 0.619 per mile are relevant and others are not. So that argument that some costs are relevant in some situation and becomes irrelevant in other situations. So that is going through here. So which costs and benefits are relevant in Cynthia's decision? Number 1, the decline in resale value due to additional miles driven is relevant. The round trip is relevant. Relaxing on train is relevant because when you drive your own car, you got some fatigue, tiredness. So even though it's difficult to assign dollar value, even then this is relevant. And the kennel cost is not relevant. Why? Because whether she drive or whether she take the train, she must put her pets or dog in the kennel. And that $40 she must pay whether she goes to the train or whether she go from the car, unless she take her pet to the friend's apartment. Then she can save the kennel cost. The cost of parking in New York is relevant, yes, because in train you don't have this kind of parking fees in New York. The benefits of having car in New York and the problems of finding parking space are also relevant, even though it is difficult to assign dollar amounts, right? So these two are different costs, even though we are not quantifying these costs, but these are relevant. Here we go. Now we can see that the round trip is $104. So gasoline cost is 230 miles to the New York, and she also need to come back 230 miles. So that's why total miles are 460. It means she needs a fuel of $46. Our maintenance charges is going to be 29.9, since maintenance also depends on mileage driven. So 0.065 multiplied by 460 miles. This one. The reduction in resale value also is relevant. We discussed that. It's 11.96. And the parking fees for 2 days, it is $50. And here we go. Our total cost of the trip is $137.86 as compared to train ticket $104. So which one is suitable? The suitable trip is for train ticket, right? So Cynthia would be better off taking the train to visit her friends. Some of the non-financial factors may influence her financial decision as well. For example, relaxation. If she put more weightage on relaxation, then maybe she can say that the cost of driving is more suitable for me, because we cannot quantify that at the moment. So we can say that the round trip is more cheaper. So total and differential cost approach, like I told you, you make situation 1, situation 2, and then make a differential. So let's talk about this. The management of a company is considering a new labor saving machine that rents for $3,000 per year. Data about the company's annual sales and cost with or without the new machines are here. So we have given current situation and new situation here. This machine is not able to increase our sales. Sales remain the same. 200,000, 200,000. Difference is 0. The raw material remains the same. Only is that it's going to save our labor. So you see here, direct labor is going to be saved. This is 15,000 differentials. So you see here, that is the saving. That is a positive number here. Remember, these are the costs that saved from the new situation. So many students, they confuse why this is the positive number. It's because it is a saving of installing new machine, right? So variable overhead is the same. If you see that contribution margin has increased using this machine. Only thing is that we need to pay rent. When we need to pay rent here, it's a cost. So you see that by having this machine, it's going to give us 12,000 benefit. So this is a positive sign for the manager to decide that he should rent the machine. Understand? So in simple sense, if we want to understand the application of relevant cost in decision making, just remember that you need to find out the old situation, new situation, and then difference. So those costs that remains the same, for example, sale, these are unavoidable costs or the similar cost, which results 0 differences, and we call that irrelevant. right? So labor cost, if you see the labor cost is saved. You had 40,000 before, and now it is 25,000. Now you can say that this is the difference of 15,000. And this is the plus point, saving. Because cost, we are saving by using new machine, rented new machine. Only the rent is going to be paid because in new old situation there was no rent. In new situation there is a rent. The rent is your cost. So 12,000 is your benefit. The manager should adopt this strategy or this situation, right? Okay, let's move further. So here, we can efficiently analyze the decision by looking at the difference cost and revenues and arrive at the same solution. Like I told you, just find out the relevant information. The relevant information is decrease in labor and increase in rent cost. This is the benefit that we are having on renting for new machine. That's it. Rather having this big analysis, you can also write down the analysis in just 3 lines. That's enough. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So using the differential approach is desirable for the 2 reasons. Number 1, only rarely will enough information would be available to prepare detailed income statement. So it's better to write down 3-step process. These are the savings, these are the cost, and decision is done. Plus, mingling irrelevant costs with relevant cost may cause confusion and distract attention away from the information that is really critical. So that's why we are using differential cost analysis. Fairly simple. So I want you to please read this question, and I'm going to send you this question to the group. You don't need to take a picture. Stop video. Here we go. I just sent in the group. All you have to do to find out that there are 2 cases, case 1 and case 2. All you have